J'ai vu Marie hier. Je veux téléphoner elle ce soir.
Tu veux quoi? Téléphoner elle?
Oui, je veux parler elle de mes vacances.
Parler elle? Je ne comprends pas.
Bon, je vais écrire elle en email alors.
Écris elle? Mais qu'est-ce que tu dis?
Did you notice the errors? If you cringe, listen to that conversation. Congratulations. You have good French instincts. But if you didn't catch the mistakes, don't worry, you're about to learn exactly what went wrong. The problem? Character A was using elle, the subject pronoun, when they needed object pronouns like lui and la. So here's what they should have said instead. Je veux téléphoner elle is wrong. Instead, it should have been je veux lui téléphoner. Je veux parler elle is wrong. It should have been je veux lui parler. And definitely, je vais écrire elle is wrong. It should have been je vais lui écrire. By the end of this video, you'll never make these awkward mistakes again. And you sound like a natural French speaker. Vous êtes prêts? C'est parti! Bonjour à tous, je m'appelle Sumulo, votre professeur de français. If you're new to my YouTube channel, thank you so much for clicking today's video and welcome. And if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for watching today's lesson. Now, why is this so confusing? It's confusing because this is the B1 level challenge you're at now. So you already know the basics. That is, you can use il and elle as subject. You have absolutely no issues with those, right? But now you need precision. You need to know when and where to use object pronoun. And sadly, the rules are a bit complex. Direct versus indirect object, positions change, verb exceptions, you know. And native speakers actually notice these mistakes. English speakers want to put pronouns after the verb, like in English. But French puts them before the verb in most cases. So in English, you're probably thinking, okay, you pick up your telephone, right? So this is your phone. You say, oh yeah, je téléphone lui. That's I call him. But in French reality, you cannot say I call him. Instead, you say je lui téléphone. Do you see? It comes before the verb. You already know il mange, elle parle. Now you need to know je le vois, je lui parle. Do you see? And I'm sure by now you already know basic verb conjugations, but you need where to place pronouns with different verbs. And you know how to make sentences, but now you need to know how to make them sound natural with pronouns. Before we continue, please do not forget that if you would love to have a free PDF of today's lesson so that you can always revisit and review what you have learned, you need to just input your name and email address in the link in the description box below. And today's lesson will be sent directly to your inbox, okay? Now, let me show you the system that will make this automatic for you. First, take a look at this complete chart. It shows you the direct and indirect object pronoun. I know it looks overwhelming right now, and that's perfectly normal. When I first saw this as a non-native speaker learning French, my brain felt like it was going to explode like I stared at this same chart for weeks thinking, how am I going to ever remember all of this? But here's what I want you to know. It's perfectly fine if you do not get this immediately. I didn't get this once either. Even though I teach French now, it took me months to truly understand the difference between direct and indirect object pronouns. My brain was constantly asking, wait, why lui and not la? Like, why les and not leur? And you know what? That's completely normal. I'm not a native speaker either. And so I understand exactly what's going through your head right now. So take a deep breath. We're going to break this down step by step. And by the end of this video, it will start making sense. And remember, once again, I've created a free PDF with all these charts and explanation that you can download and review as many times as you need. Okay? So if you take a look at the English object pronouns, we have me, you, him, or it, her, it, us, you, them. But for the French direct object pronouns are me or m apostrophe, te ou t apostrophe, le ou l apostrophe, la ou l apostrophe, ne, vous, les. But for the French indirect object pronouns, we have me ou m apostrophe, te ou t apostrophe, lui, and also lui for the feminine, nous, vous, leur. So now do you notice how le and la become lui and les becomes leur in the indirect column? This is what confuses everyone. All right? So did you understand better by looking at the chart as we broke it down? Now, let me explain what these actually are, because you're thinking, okay, what does object even mean? In any sentence, you have the subject, the verb, and the object. The subject is the person doing something. The verb is the action being done. And the object is the person or thing receiving that action. For example, Sumo calls her brother. The subject is what? Sumo, because I am doing the calling. So Sumo is doing the calling. The verb is to call. That's the action. So I pick up my phone and I call my brother. And the object is her brother. That's the person receiving the call. And so in French, we would say Sumo téléphone à son frère. Subject, Sumo, verb, téléphone, object, frère. C'est ça. So far, so good, right? Well, here's where it gets interesting and where I got confused for the longest time. This is the part that messed with my head for months. But once I understood this concept, everything clicked. And so I'm going to write this out for you so that you actually remember it. The direct object is equals to no middleman. That is, the action goes straight from the subject to the object. No preposition needed. But the indirect object, there is a middleman. That is, the action goes from the subject to someone. There's always that little word "a" in between. Let me show you with the same verb donner, which means to give. So direct object will say je donne le livre. What am I giving? The book. Okay? There's no preposition needed between don and livre. Now indirect would be je donne le livre à Rena. Who am I giving the book to? To Rena. Do you notice the "a"? That is your clue. Here is the foolproof test. Can you put to in front of the person in English? I see to him. It sounds wrong. So you use the direct object, which is le. I speak to him. This sounds right. And so what do? You use the indirect object, which is lui. I love to her. This is what? It's wrong. And in that case, what do you use? The direct object, which is la. I write to her. This is correct. And what do we use here? The indirect object. You got it. Lui. This test works 100% of the time. Now, let's take a quick look at this chart. So take a look at this chart. So you see the direct object pronouns, no to needed. For example, I can say je le vois, je la regarde, je les invite. Do you see? But for the indirect object pronouns, you always to someone. So it's je lui parle, that's to him or to her. Je leur écris. Okay, so leur is to them. All right, so you can take a look at this chart properly to really understand the pronoun form. Just to sum here up, can you say I verb someone something directly? You use le, la, les. Or can you say I verb to someone? You use lui ou leur. Please remember, I struggled with this exact same thing when I was learning French. What helped me was practice and repetition. And that's why I put together that free PDF for you. It has all these rules, plus over 50 practice exercises, so you can drill this until it becomes automatic. Download it, print it out, and review it whenever you need to. Please remember, there is no shame in taking your time with this. Even French teachers like me needed time to master. Okay, let's practice quickly before I give you your quiz so that I'm sure you understand everything you've learned today. Here are some sentences with pronoun errors. Can you fix them? Je veux téléphoner elle ce soir. Elle va écrire il une lettre. Nous devons parler eux. Je lui regarde chaque jour. Il la téléphone souvent. So just practice quickly and I'll show you the answers. Let's take a look at the answers and you can correct yourself, okay? So this is like classwork before I give you your actual quiz. Je veux lui téléphoner ce soir. Elle va lui écrire une lettre. Nous devons leur parler. Je le regarde chaque jour. Il lui téléphone souvent. All right, did you get everything? Did the classwork make sense? Really? Okay, Sumo, I think I now understand better. But to test you, I'm going to give you a quiz, okay? I'm going to test you on 5 questions. What I need for you to do is please take your time. If you want to pause the video. And actually, this is my book here. If you had a pen, write down your answers to be sure you get it, okay? And let me know in the comment section below how many you got. Let's get started. Question 1. I am going to call Sumo. How do you say this in French? Is it A, B, or C? Question 2. She speaks to them every day. Which is the correct translation? Is it A, B, or C? Question 3. Don't look at him. Which is the correct translation? Is it A, B, or C? Question 4. I want to write to her. Which is the correct form? Is it A, B, or C? And question 5. Which verbs always use lui ou leur? Is it A, B, or C? Remember, you can pause the video right now, write down your answers, check it out, and come back so we can look at the answers. All right, let's take a look at the answers. Number 1 is si, je vais l'appeler. Remember, direct object. Number 2 is B, elle leur parle chaque jour. Indirect, which means parler à. Question 3, it is A, ne le regarde pas. It's a negative command, okay? Question 4 is B, je veux lui écrire. It's indirect, which is écrire à. Question 5, these all take à, so they need lui ou leur. If you can now spot pronoun mistakes and use lui versus la correctly, prove it by typing this exact phrase in the comments. Je lui parle, je la regarde, et maintenant je les maîtrise. This just means you're a pronoun expert. You've just conquered one of the trickiest B1 challenges. So here are some key takeaways for you. Le, la, les, direct objects, okay? No preposition needed. Lui, leur, indirect objects, verbs that need a. The position before the conjugated verb, except for positive commands, okay? Remember the one we looked at where we said, ne le regarde pas? And then the test, can I say to someone? Always make sure you use lui ou leur. You now sound natural instead of making those cringe-worthy mistakes from the beginning. I want you to clap for yourself. It is not easy. It honestly isn't. So just clap for yourself if you've gotten this far. Like, I am learning the French language. It is making sense. If this awesome lesson finally made French pronouns click for you, please give it a thumbs up, follow my channel and subscribe. It really helps. And share with other B1 learners struggling with this. Until I see you in my next lesson, bonne journée!